Thanks for tuning in to Talk Erie and the Joel and Natalie Show live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here. And we want to introduce a new segment that we're going to be having every month here. It's called Celebrate What's Different, Conversations with the Barber National Institute. And we want to welcome in to our studios here Bob Barber and Heather Wolf. Folks, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Joel, thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
We heard Bob's origin story. We'd love to hear yours, Heather. Did you grow up here in Erie, or are you a transplant in?
No, I did not grow up in Erie. I grew up in Venango County.
Yeah.
Moved here about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And, you know, I applied for the Barber Center when I first moved here. It took me a little bit, but maybe a year or so, and I got hired and I stayed here. So when I first started at the Barber Center, I started as a third shift, DSP, direct support professional.
And we're going to get into that in a second, what that means. But go ahead, yeah.
And then just moved my way up, and here I am.
And you're the lead direct support professional here. And maybe we should backtrack a second here and talk about, again, the importance of the Barber National Institute in this space in helping folks of many different ages navigate life with intellectual disabilities, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, so we have services for everybody from 0 to retirement age. We, at our foundation, at our core, we're a school. But eventually, those kids move up through the school program, and then they transition out into more adult services. And that's when we start talking about residential services, family living, supported living, agency with choice services, day programming services. And so, at the Barber National Institute, we can, and we have, served people literally from birth to death.
Wow. Yeah. And that's where, as they get older, as you start talking about adults, that's really where direct support professionals come to play. Is that correct, Heather? Talk about, again, what is the essential job of a direct support professional?
So a direct support professional, we're going into our individuals' homes. These are their homes. We assist them with everything you would do at your own home, showering, picking out clothes, going shopping, activities that they would like to do, grocery shopping. Everything that you do for your family is what we do for our individuals. And it depends on the individual, the age, what activities they enjoy doing. We do meal planning. We do, we help them with their medications, make sure they're taking the right medications at the right time. A lot goes into it, but it's a very rewarding job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It really is. It's a robust profession. I'm glad that you're having us in this week. This week is Direct Support Professional Week, and it's a nationally recognized week where, we as an industry and as communities, we honor the direct support professionals that do this work every day. Because while it is a rewarding profession, and I think one of the rare and few remaining professions where, you are given direct feedback at all times by your clientele. You can tell when the individual is happy with what you're doing, and they'll let you know when they're not happy with what you're doing. But, in addition to all the things that Heather just expounded upon, it really is. It's personal care, it's health and wellness, it's life skills development, it's community integration, it's advocacy, and then it's behavioral support as well. And so, it's everything that you and I do every single day that our individuals just need some help with, and some direction with, and some structure around.
And you had mentioned, the Barber National Institute essentially is a school, and when you think about, you're giving, you're doing therapies, and I think about what occupational therapy, right? So as someone is coming up and they become a teenager and they learn some skill sets,
that's right,
and then they enter into adult life, you're able to have a partner, right, Heather, of your client, in helping them execute some of their skills.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And trying to better those skills.
Yeah.
Whether it's something as simple as brushing teeth or working from a day program into the community. And we have goals that we work on daily with each client, and it's personalized for each client. And that's what our goal is to make sure that they're able to live as independently as they can. And just that makes them happy.
That's right. Well, and it's the ultimate goal for all of us, I think, as human beings, is to reach our full potential. And so that's the goal at the Barber National Institute. And, the direct support professionals they're the service delivery. They're the front line.
Wow.
And so they're the ones doing that work.
On a week like this week, where we're acknowledging direct support professionals, talk about the opportunities, because I would imagine that there's always openings for folks that, because the demand on the Barber National Institute doesn't seem to decrease, does it?
No, that's absolutely right. I mean, there's a long waiting list statewide.
Wow.
For adults who need these services, and really the barrier to service providers bringing everybody off that waiting list is our lack of direct support professionals. And I think part of what we're trying to do as an organization and as an industry is to really shed light on what that really means to be a direct support professional. In a world where things are becoming more and more mechanized and digitalized, and technology is playing a bigger role in everything that we're doing, the role of the direct support professional is never going away. The human-to-human aspect of this job is something that's always going to exist. You can't send a robot in to do what these people do on a daily basis. And so, it's a unique job. And it's not for everybody. We always say that. It's a job where you really have to have the right heart for it. You have to understand why it is that you're doing what you're doing. And I think the other piece of that is really, when you first come on as a direct support professional, if you can create a connection with the individuals that you're working with, that's the key. That creates a successful working environment for you. It creates a successful staff-client relationship with the individuals that you're working with. And so, there's tremendous job security in the direct support professional profession. And, I think as an industry, we're starting to take steps towards creating a more objective measure of those direct support professionals. So part of what we're doing is we've engaged with a company called the National Alliance of Direct Support Professionals. And what they're doing is they're creating a national certification. And so it's a 3-step course that is available through the Barber National Institute for direct support professionals. And, I think overall it's like 120 hours of coursework to make it through all 3 phases of that certification course. But you can get certified as a DSP-1 with 40 hours, DSP-2 with 80 hours, and then the whole course, I think, is about 120 hours of coursework and then testing. But that certification is what we're starting to look at as, just like a doctor or a lawyer has to go through, lawyers have to take the bar, doctors take the MCAT and whatever else it is that they have to take to be officially certified. I mean, the work that these people do is just as important. It needs to be recognized as such. And so for those who choose to go through this process, there's premiums being paid. It's a portable certification. And so if you earn your NADSP certification with us, and let's say you move out of state, or family circumstances have you moving somewhere, you can always go to another provider and still have that certification, which I think is incredibly important, because this isn't just a job anymore that just anybody can step into and do. It really does take some real skill, and it takes years to really become an expert. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And it's such a rewarding job. It really is. I've learned a lot, even just the 4 years that I've been here, and I continue to learn every day. And on my team, we have some great DSPs here. There's not another job that I would want to do. Being able to go home and just know that I helped somebody, in so many different ways. A lot of times, that they see you more than they see most people,
Right.
their families, etc. So I don't know. I do think this is an amazing job.
Talk about, I believe that everybody is born with different gifts and certainly different personalities and approaches to life. What do you think makes a successful direct support professional? What was it about this job that attracted you? There was something innate in your spirit, if you will, to do this job.
Yeah. So I grew up with an aunt in the home who had intellectual disabilities. So it came like second nature.
Yeah.
So one of my first jobs was doing the same work, just at a different company. And I realized that I love it. That's what I'm good at, is taking care of people.
Is it an amount of empathy? Is it amount of wanting to help someone? Is it amount of, figuring out challenges of, creative workarounds because, maybe that your client can't do exactly, what would be typical.
I think you would need a little bit of all of that.
Sure.
Yeah. You can't just have one of them. And it can be difficult some days, but I think the person, they absolutely have to want to do this job. They have to have some kind of care about them. It's not something that you could just come in and, clock in 9 to 5 and clock out and not have a care in the world. It's not that job. This job, you absolutely have to care about what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Joel. I think our direct support professionals are empathetic. They're problem solvers, right? They're people who, you exercise your communication skills for sure. I mean, because a lot of the individuals that we have may be nonverbal, and they may also lack any ability to sign. And so, it really is on the direct support professional to create that connection and start to learn about what different facial expressions may mean, what different hand gestures may mean for each individual. And so, yeah, there's a challenge there, but it's about problem solving, right?
Absolutely. And it takes time too. Just getting to know a client, finding out what they like, what they dislike. And if they dislike that, you have to figure it out. And you have a team of people that you're working with. It's not just one DSP to solve the world.
Right,
you know what I mean? It's a team of people. And we all work together to figure out what best works for this client.
Talk about the supporting and the resources that come from the Barber National Institute as you work in your group home or something like that.
It's amazing. So I mean, if there is something that I need, there's a long list of people, in the hierarchy, and we go up. We have meetings for each of the clients to figure out what is best going to work for, this client. There's never been a time there where I would call and, I can't. If I need help with something, there's always somebody there, whether it be my coworker working with me or, my direct supervisor or, their supervisor. It takes a village when it comes to this work, and we have it here.
That's right.
I think it's important to understand that, in many ways, there's an extreme amount of joy that comes from doing this job. I'm thinking of an interaction that I had with a professional and 3 people that they were working with, and it was just, we were at the blood lab, and I was waiting to get my blood test, and it was just, one of the clients struck up a conversation with me, and it was just there was just so much joy out of the interactions, and again, like you said, not everybody's verbal like that or gets around as much, but it was super cool to see the smile on the professional's face and knowing that that we were human beings having an enjoyable interaction, and that's really that's the goal here.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I mean, community integration is kind of a fancy term for acceptance and belonging in your own community, and so that interaction that you had, we're trying to facilitate more of that and let the public know that we're just like everybody else. We have the same wants and desires as everybody else. We have to go to the same doctor appointments and all the different things that everybody else has to do in their activities of daily living. And so we're not coming with a flag out to say, here comes the Barber National Institute. But when you see us out, feel free to say hello and have a conversation and ask us how we're doing. And we'll be polite and cordial.
That's super cool. Let's talk about, again, if someone wanted to find out more about this career choice. Before I go there, though, I want to ask about if you're a young person, let's say in high school, and you're considering this kind of direct kind of care, are there things that you suggest? Is that not too early to maybe have a conversation with HR or a recruiter, even if, at 14, 15, 16 years old,
No, absolutely. At high school age, I think that's the perfect time to start thinking about a career as a direct support professional. And we're more than willing to have that conversation at the Barber National Institute. And we can certainly come up with, ways where you can start to prepare yourself for, upon graduation when you're ready to come and work for us. And, we can...
And the training's all there.
That's right. The training is all there. Like I said, there's a standard process of training that you kind of go through, but then also a lot of it is on the job training, because depending on who you're working with, and what kind of disability the individuals that you're going to be working with have, what their communication styles are, it's a lot of on the job training and learning. But high school kids, absolutely. If you're interested, reach out to us. Go onto the website, www.barberinstitute.org, and shoot us a message, and we'll chat.
One last question for our friends from Barber National Institute. Again, we're talking about careers as direct support professionals. Can you speak to the culture at BNI? Maybe both of you. Let's start with you, Heather. I mean, what makes it unique as a great place to work?
I've worked at multiple places. Here, though, the culture of BNI it's different. It's a feeling you get, really. The training, the hands-on with clients, the way that we're in their homes. It's a different feeling. I worked at a place prior to this. It was more like a facility, Okay. This is not like that. Being able to come to work every day knowing you're helping somebody, and you feel good leaving. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, to take kind of the words right out of our founder, Dr. Barber's mouth, all people are children of God with the ability to learn. And it is incumbent upon all of us to just meet those people where they are and help them to reach, their fullest potential. And so, at the Barber National Institute, the entire thing revolves around meeting a person where they are. So having a person-centered approach to what it is that we're doing, and continuing to push towards improvement, continuing to push an environment of learning and understanding, and hope. Really, I mean, that's really what we're trying to provide both the individuals, the families, and the communities that surround these people. It's a message of hope, that regardless of what your abilities or disabilities may be, that you're just as good as the next guy. And you deserve the best. And so, I think we do have a unique culture at the Barber National Institute. It's not really about, just getting the job done. It's about doing things at a high level, and doing it together. It's a team-oriented. It's, from my perspective, it's a very family-oriented business. And, it's one of the most fulfilling things that I've done in my life.
If folks want to investigate more what it would be to become a direct support professional, go to the website?
Yeah, I would say go to the website, click on our careers link, and you'll get to our HR department. And you can either shoot them a message or shoot them an email, and somebody will either be with you right then, or we'll get back to you very shortly. Again, it's barberinstitute.org.
Wonderful. Bob Barber, Heather Wolf, congratulations in celebrating National Direct Support Professionals Week and all the great work that you do at the Barber National Institute.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you guys so much. It is 3:54 at Talk Erie.